But even then, you're not seeing their faces. You don't know who these people are. Astrology for the week of January 20th and the following 7 days. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is G. How do I get rid of this crap? Oh, look at that. Bam. Shazam. So you see, we got some red in the chart, okay? And we're going to talk about that red. The backstory, one of the backstories is the blue trine you see there, that blue triangle, the blue trine that's in there, okay? That blue trine will pretty much be here this whole week, okay? So I will touch upon it because, yeah, it's part of the red in the chart as well, believe it or not. And I'll explain that. So we're always looking to see if anything's going to be moving when we talk about the astrology of the week. Because out of bounds is extreme energy. It's extreme. And in the sign of Cancer, we can think the public, but also feminine energy, women, mom, homes, housing. Cancer energy is emotions. It's the past and it's the history. With Mars there, sometimes that's talked about as the surgeon and Mars being the body. So, of course, the abortion issue and freedoms of my body, and for me to be able to call the shots for any medical procedure that an adult wants with their body, period. The election is now done and over with. Inauguration day, first day, right? That we're on the 20th here. A new person in power. And this chart really, you can see the new person in power as far as a transition, right? Look at the chart. An authority figure, the sun. At 0 degrees, extreme degree, 0 degrees, right? But it's conjunct Pluto. It's conjunct Pluto. The individual power gets increased. Well, it's for the person in charge. So if you're not the person in charge, if you're not the 1% of the 1%, it ain't you. So Pluto and the sun, Aquarius energy, power over the people. Yes, hopefully there will be, you know, power to the union energy where people are now really, truly going to have to organize to make sure that the rights that they currently have, especially in the workspace, continue, but then to increase greater power as a group at the job, right? Otherwise, the corporate, right? The big companies, those corporations, the CEOs, like their job is to make their bottom line bigger, period. It's not to look out for you, right? So this isn't to be a downer, okay? But it's to give you the reality check. And that's what we're seeing. This is a lot of power here. So with that power, the sun for this week is going to move like it always does, 7 degrees. All right. So the sun's going to be in Aquarius for this whole week. It doesn't leave the sign of Aquarius. So we have kicked off Aquarius season on this day. The 20th, the sun just entered Aquarius. Aquarius season has begun because the sun stays in Aquarius 1 degree a day. So that means it will square Taurus and Scorpio between 0 and 9 degrees. When I say square, that means stress and tension. It's a challenge of some sort. The sun is an authority figure. So somebody at the job, a parental figure, someone who has authority, some sort of authority over you in some way. All right, whoever that is. Remember, Aquarius energy, usually someone like tries to lay down the law. I am the ultimate authority. You can do nothing, without my say-so type of thing. It can be this really, a very detached and this, it's my way or the highway type of shit, right? Because of the detachment of Aquarius energy, being detached can be wonderful, right? If you're going through something and you need to back off and detach and unplug, right? That's different, right? For survival and to just kind of take care of yourself and maintain. But when it's someone who's actually in your life and that detachment occurs, it can create a real breakdown in relationships, in values, in what we love, in who I love, in our money, in my work, literally, my job and my finances. Okay. And in the Scorpio energy. All right. It can create that as well because this is bonded energy, deeply bonded, blood bonds. People were related to by blood, right? That's that energy. And then people who we might not be related to by blood, but we feel some kind of way. We've got this deep emotional resonating depth between us that was there from the day we met, right? So the good news is that the sun moves fast. So it only creates between 0 and 1 degrees, that stress and tension for Taurus and Scorpio this week, or 0 and 9 degrees technically, because the sun, 2 degree orb is enough. But at the beginning of this week, it can be difficult because it's the sun conjunct Pluto. So that can bring some extra stress at the beginning of this week. While that's occurring, we also have to kind of talk about Mercury. Mercury sitting over here. She actually starts off the week at 18, and she is conjunct Pallas Athena. Pallas Athena, feminine energy, the female general, right? She's in Capricorn. So she's smart, she's methodical, she's logical, she knows how to organize, she can look at a map, she's all about strategy, right? In Capricorn, business, corporations, right? Capricorn energy, business, corporations, material, long-term building for the financial security, my wealth, building my wealth. Security is a really big word here. This Mercury and this Pallas Athena are going to trine Uranus this week, this whole week, because Mercury climbs up in numbers, right? And it's a pretty fast mover. So literally like Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you have Mercury matching the degrees of Uranus. So a lot of strong 23 degrees energy in Uranus. And by the way, Uranus is, I'm the authority figure. I'm the boss, but it is group energy. It is technology. It is space, but it is also NATO. Okay. It is global systems, global banking. And this degree is the Aquarius, is the Uranus degree of shocks and surprises, even though Uranus is also shocks and surprises. This is group energy, right? A global group, a global alliance, right? So 23 degrees and it's in Taurus. So it is all about our values. What are our values? And Uranus likes to be very independent in general. So Mercury for this week, she'll end up at 29 degrees, a critical degree, by the following Monday. 7 days out, Mercury will be at 29 degrees in Capricorn. Okay? She'll be at 29 in Cappy. Venus is in Pisces at the beginning of this week. She starts off at 17 conjunct Nessus on Monday the 20th. The North Node and Neptune conjunct. So Neptune can be a public figure, right? Can be a public figure. You got the North Node there. The North Node is the future. This is where we're headed. It is in Pisces. That's also public figures. This is also politicians, right? The Neptune can kind of make things confusing, like there's a change going on. But the thing with that Neptune energy is a lot of the change, a lot of the happenings are not necessarily in front and center and out and open, right? Because Neptune, Pisces energy is a lot, you think of a performance, you think of a movie, but you don't know about all the people that had to go into the making of that movie. You don't really see it until you watch, you see all the credits at the end of the movie, but even then you're not seeing their faces. You don't know who these people are. All you see is all these freaking names that they scan past you like at 1,000 miles an hour, right? So it's kind of like that in a way. And yeah, this is the movie industry, of course. Performances and sound, right? So 27 degrees, 29 degrees, 29, a critical degree. What's going to happen this week is there is a change. This North Node sitting here at 29 for about 14 to 20 days. This week, the North Node changes sign. I'm sorry, did I say that? This week, the North Node changes degree. It's not going to be changing sign for 18 months. It changes a degree. North Node will go to 28 degrees. So the 29 was critical. It was extreme, right? It's usually people with unbelievable power and wealth. It's known as the millionaire degree. So with this new administration, you think of all the backroom deals with corporations and privatizing a whole shitload of things. I'm sure of it without a doubt in my mind, which means less government oversight. Um, anyway, so yeah, this is the faith part and the belief and the fantasy and the sci-fi and the do things to make yourself feel good. This is where all this comes into play. So with that all said, this movement, 29 to 28, 28 degrees, well, that's the Cancer energy. That's the moon energy. That's home. That's families. That's women. That's the public. So with the North Node there and the Pisces energy, maybe there's some illusion, maybe there's some delusion, maybe there's some hope, maybe there's some religious leaders, maybe there's, Hollywood people, maybe politicians, public figures. But either way, it's still all conjunct with Neptune. And Neptune, other than making things confusing, Neptune can make shit disappear. Even if it's not truly making you like literally disappear, like Neptune can be prison, okay? Neptune can be prison, but it can also just mean you're no longer like you're maybe wearing a mask or you've changed. You're a chameleon. You've changed in some way. So whoever I knew you as, you're no longer that person, right? So there's, I kind of talk about that in that video for the North Node in Pisces and the change and the chameleon energy and playing a role, I think were the words that I used. But Neptune has, it's been known to be able to have the power to dissolve energy, to dissolve something, to dissolve the tangible and the material, because Neptune is the 5D. It doesn't work with the 3D. It's what's going on. You might not necessarily be seeing what's going on, but yet you will truly feel the effects of it because it's Pisces. You follow? So with that, we then go back to Venus for the week because she's going to make a move like always. She's moving forward from her 17 and she's going to get to 23, which means by Monday, Venus will start being conjunct. Neptune. Remember, Venus is money, desires, and value. Okay. It's also women energy, feminine energy. All right. Public figures, right? Politicians, feminine energy. Neptune conjunct Venus. Be cautious at this time. This will be a bigger story the following week, though, because it's your money in the bank. It's your values. And Neptune can be deceptive. Even if it's not trying to purposely be deceptive, there's confusion there. You follow? There's confusion there. But it does start communicating with Venus, Saturday, Sunday, especially since there's other items there. And if you have things in your chart in Pisces at 25, be aware of this at this time. You might want to just tell yourself ahead of time, even if I want to spend money, I'm just going to chill. I'm going to wait until Venus is far away from Neptune before I spend any money. The Mars energy, I kind of got to talk about Mars. We already talked about the North Node and the South Node making a move to 28. That happens on Saturday, if I didn't give you the date. Saturday of this week. Mars at 21, retrograding, going backwards, it'll go back to 21 degrees. So Mars moves 3 degrees this week. It's moving a little bit faster than it did before the last time it was in Cancer. And I say thank God because it's out of bounds. So if you've got people who are angry, people who have low patience, remember Mars can be youthful people as well. So the stress that Mars can throw would be in cardinal energy, and that would be in Aries energy, which we've got Eris there, feminine energy. We've got Chiron there, the wombs of the body. Like Mars is going to start angling that, the freedom, my free will, the freedom of my body, the right to choose what I want to do with my body, my identity, the color of my skin, right? Mars will start squaring that. And at the same time, that means it's squaring Libra energy, right? It squares Libra this week. Stress and tension for the Libran energy in your chart between the 24 all the way to, we'll say, 19 degrees. So for Libra and Aries, 24 to 19 degrees, Mars retrograding will create some stress and tension. Be careful in terms of relationships because it's Libra. So this is, anybody who you're in a significant relationship with. This can, everyone expresses their energy differently. The recommendation with Mars is get out and do something physical. If you're angry, if you're mad, get out and do something that's healthy for you. That's a physical challenge for you because that's what the Mars energy needs. It needs a freaking healthy outlet, right? So that's my recommendation. Because otherwise, starting fights, getting angry, blowing up and not knowing what I'm angry about. Okay. It's Cancer energy with significant one-on-one relationships, Libra, which can be business partnerships as well as marriage. And also the Aries energy, my freedom, my rights, my body, my space, right? So it's stress and tension. Now, there's this big trine in the background working. Okay. It's in water energy. It's water, so it's history, it's emotions, it's people that you deeply resonate with. There's a lot of that here. Juno is a big story this week. I've got a lot of objects being drawn from Juno, right? There's Juno right there. So here is Juno starting the week in Scorpio at 24. It's in fixed energy, which if we have fixed energy in our chart, right? So if you got Leo and Aquarius energy in your chart, and if you got something, you've got objects at 24, 25, 26 degrees. Juno, partnerships, blood bonds. So it can be people you're literally related to by blood, right? People you're really close to. Even if it's people you're not close to in a sense of, oh, we really get along. Sometimes Scorpio energy, because it's about the emotions and the wounds from the past, we can meet somebody and immediately have this emotional response from somewhere deep inside of us, and we don't even know why or where it came from. There can be this strong feeling you have. It's intense, right? So it's not always about the lovey-dovey stuff. There can be a strong emotion, I'll put it like that you feel. So with this Juno energy, we're just being aware of that stress as well with Leo energy and Aquarius. And you see, I've got red lines drawn because we have objects in Aquarius, 23, 24, 25. We've got Hercules there, and we've got a couple of other points, but they're not caught up yet. We've got Ceres and Chericlo. They're going to catch up. They're both at 16 here at the beginning of the week. And as the week moves on, they move a little bit slower, right? So that'll be a bigger story the following week. But you may have something at 23, 24, 25, 26 in Aquarius in your chart. So this is group energy and this is friends, okay? Friends, right? You might have an authority figure, someone you look up to, right? Group energy. Remember, this is digital, so it's online. And then we also have the Leo stuff. It's all about me, how I radiate, shine, express, creative energy, which is making baby energy as well, romance, mating, dating, relating, how I have fun and a good time. Yeah, how I take a risk with my body. There's nothing here at those degrees, 22, 23, 24, 25. But if you have objects in Leo at those degrees, well, it creates that stress and tension, okay, from the Juno energy. The stress and tension is there. But let's go back for just a second, because I started talking about how Juno is part of trine energy. And it is. It is trining Venus this week. So you've got Juno and Venus that will be trining because Venus is climbing up in numbers. And then it's also trining Neptune there, right? So this backstory between Juno and Venus and Neptune can be what saves the day because Venus usually wants to have peace. In Pisces, she might need to sleep. She might need Calgon, take me away. I need to have a good book, take my bath. I need to watch some movies. Honor that and do it. That's how you're going to use this energy. If you don't have paints, if you're not making music, if you're not creating, you need some sort of a healthy escape. Or she may start drinking. She may, dive into doing some substances because that's kind of this thing here. And the partnership energy, right? So there might be a partnership with somebody who likes some of those same things you do. All right. Same ways to escape. And then Mars, you see, so it's masculine and feminine energy. Mars and Venus are trining, not right at the beginning of this week, but they start to create a stronger trine as the week moves on. Because remember, as we get to Monday, Venus just gets to 23. Okay. But it's for this week. After that, Venus keeps growing up higher in numbers and Mars gets lower in numbers. So they pass like two ships in the night because Mars will get to 21 by the end of the week. Okay. So that means in the middle of the week, there is a nice time where this strong, supportive trine with Juno and significant one on one relationships, Scorpio energy, people we're deeply bonded with in some way, Pisces energy, need to escape and create music, sound, and theater, movies, and Mars, more masculine yet feminine energy because it's in Cancer energy. It's my family, it's the past, people who I bond with, but this can also be my tribe energy, people that resonate with you based on history, soul history. To me, this is this is almost like a reorganizing and a reshuffling in a sense where we kind of felt like we knew who those people were before, but because there's such a major change happening this week, even though God knows people have been, planning for this change for a while, but we're literally seeing a reshuffling and a realliance being set up. And there's so much to do with history in the past year because we got all the water and the big grand water trine. Okay, so the last thing I want to mention is the Mercury and Mars opposition. I have to mention that because Mars can be very feisty. It can even carry a weapon, right? Not just a knife and not just a surgeon, but can carry a weapon. It's Cancer energy, so it's women, it's homes, it's family. So we have to make sure we're being careful. The other thing is the opposition, Mercury's the communication, but it's also in Cappy, so it's boss energy. You follow? So it's the rules. This is what the new rules are. That are coming down the pike here. Like this is it. I'm communicating this to you, right? So I anticipate this to be a stressful week, but I also would recommend to please find ways to detach, to literally get off of YouTube, to get off of social media if you already haven't gotten off of it. But to stay attached just so that you can stay attached enough so that you understand what's going on in the world in general. That opposition becomes, it starts right this week and it stays all the way until like Wednesday. So it's really like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday we'll give it, where Mars and Mercury are in a very strong opposition, which is like a power control, a push-pull energy. Um, Mars is just the soldier though. So Mars being over there in Cancer and Mercury in Capricorn, well, this is information coming from the top, coming from the boss because it's Capricorn. And if you look at Saturn for this week, it's money. Saturn's sitting at 16. So there's a reshuffling with the values and the money. And you see Saturn here and Venus there, right? So their midpoint is literally at the beginning of this week, it's sitting there at 16. That's that small Venus and Saturn together. That 16 degrees is feminine energy. It's the public. So the midpoint, again, why does that matter? Because it means it's the mixture of my long-term goals, Saturn, what I am building for the long term. It's the rules, the new rules. It's Saturn and Venus working together. In Pisces, a lot of backroom shit going on, for sure. Okay, for sure. And with some of that backroom stuff, that's normal. Like Pisces and politicians and what goes on behind closed doors is the public. We don't hear about it until there's a bill written and a law is passed. Then it's like, oh shit, this is what's going on. Fine. And with a new person, with a new administration, this is to be expected. This is normal. By Monday, this is at 20 degrees now. And that 20 degrees, well, that's the degree of Scorpio energy. So there's some strong, there's just a lot of history. History comes up again. Blood bonds comes up again. People who I align with, when it comes down to the values and the money, it comes up again. Yeah. So it's big this week. Use it to your advantage to make sure that you are, trying to not engage in all the red in the chart. Just use the power of the water trine. Use the power to detach, to unplug, to relax, to have a healthy escape. All right? That's it. You got questions, you comment below. I appreciate your time. I hope you've had a good holiday and a good new year. And I will see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.